Hello and welcome to my next video. This is going to be looking at the role of guilds play in Guild Wars 2. For those of you who are not too familiar with the game, and those of you pretty experienced, it's going to talk a little bit about what the role of the guild is in Guild Wars 2, and if you're not part of a popular guild or a guild that you're too comfortable with, what should you look for in a particular guild? So I'm going to talk a little bit about the guild that I'm in. If we open up the guild tab by pressing the G button, the difference between Guild Wars 1 and Guild Wars 2 is you can have multiple guilds you can be part of. And what happens if you're not representing the particular guild, it does have a little bar through it. It's not always, some people ask for 100% or 99% guild representation, and some people don't do it for a particular reason. I don't do it occasionally because I actually have my own guild here. It's only got me in it. I'm going to talk a little bit about why I have my own guild just for myself a little bit later. But let's talk about our main guild. You'll come up here. You'll see we do have quite a substantial number of players on here. Just for information, I play on the North American server Tarnished Coast. And we actually have a very international guild. We have people from Asia, people from Europe, people from North America, and it is multinational. So we always usually have around 20 or so people on at any one time, which is quite good compared to previously in Guild Wars 1. I was always in a guild that, because I played on the American servers, they were all the North American servers. They were always a few hours ahead, and since the mega servers have come in, the world is so much more populated, which I think has been a much improved thing. But when we have our guild tab here, we have obviously it tells you how many members are online at any one time. So we've got 39 out of 290, and what happens, each of your member, when you're part of a guild, every time you log in or complete an event, you will earn influence for your guild. Influence is this guild number over here. So it's, as it says, earn influence by logging in every day and doing events, dungeons, PvP and other activities with guild members. And we've got quite a substantial amount of influence. What do you use influence for? Well, if we come to our upgrade section, I'm just going to turn off the chat there. You can build updates and give yourself boosters for your whole guild. So we've got dungeon influence, more influence again, events influence, more gathering, a chance, to get more better. As you see here, for 48 hours, guild members have a 10% chance to find rare materials for mining, logging, and harvesting. So it's just these little boosters. You can have obviously world versus world sort of upgrades, consumables that you can buy, so banners that you can put out and get bonus on that. You can activate guild challenges, guild rushes, guild puzzles, guild heroes banner, and then obviously you have more. So we have banking and other such upgrades. There's a vast number of upgrades. In the economy, the architecture, these are all different things that your guild can benefit yourself as a player. If I wasn't part of this, just for once, we don't actually have a magic find. Oh yeah, we do. There we go. So we've got 10% magic find. So when I go to the hero tab and come to, if we look at equipment, I've got 191% magic find. We get bonus for memories of home, and then that's plus onto my account, which is 166. So we are getting a boost. Every member of your guild gets an extra 10% magic find, which is very handy indeed. Obviously you have a history of everything that comes along. You can set ranks up, and obviously you have guild missions when they're activated, and that actually allows you to get guild commendations, which, if you're curious about what you can spend them on, I have another video that looks at guild commendations, and I would recommend you check that out for if you want to make gold. The guild commendation video with the laurels is actually worth a good watch. But we're talking about guilds here, and you know, why should I take part in this? And one thing I haven't mentioned, we have merits as well. We've got a substantial amount of merits. They're used to unlock new types of guild missions and high-level upgrades. Because we are a regular active guild, every weekend we do guild missions and guild rushes. You know, we've built up quite a lot of guild merits, and for these reasons, you know, the ability to earn guild commendations, the ability to earn upgrades. This is why you want to be in an active guild for these upgrades, you know, because they give you a flat bonus for your characters. But also, you know, what are the other things that we do here? Our guild, you know, I've been in guilds that have been focused on World versus World, PvE. This guild is it's the best one I've found that fits my particular, you know, what I'm looking from Guild Wars 2. Because it gives you an all-round, our guild is a bit of an all-round thing. We have people that will go in World versus World, we have people that will PvP, we have people that will PvE. And so, you know, we have a little guild message, and, you know, every time there's a world boss, somebody will normally call out, you know, to say that, you know, go at this point in 5 minutes or 2 minutes until it's up. It's you know, extremely useful to go on this this particular you know, with a guild that, you know, they're very communicative. You know, they can, you know, if there's an event going on, and you want to know, like, for example, when's the Quattro up? Okay, that someone's saying it. Okay, now Fire Elemental is up. Elemental up in 2 minutes. Okay, I'm going to go there now. Dwayne is going to be up in 2 minutes, and then you can join them in the instance in Malcor's Leap. It means that you are more of aware of things that are going on. Also, if you ask a question in map chat, for example, if you're, you know, new to the game and you're in somewhere like Lion's Arch, which is a very popular, you know, base for people to congregate, and you say something that you feel is a bit of a stupid question, let's say, oh, I've got this bloodstone dust, what's this used for? You might get a few sarcastic comments back. However, if you're in a guild, it's very rare that you'll get other guild mates that will make fun of some of your questions, or you think will make fun of your questions. It feels a much safer environment. You know, you can say, look, I'm a noob, I'm a bit of a newbie guy to the game. Could you please just explain, you know, what's this? It's actually one of the reasons why I'm creating these dungeon videos and, you know, guide to PvP, because we're getting a lot of new members come in, and a lot of them don't always know, you know, the full details, and, you know, they're not too experienced. So I'm trying to give them a bit of extra experience and to give them a bit of a guide by doing some of these videos. So that's a little bit about the guild that we got in. I'm going to talk a little bit about why you should create your own guild. So what's the main benefits for having a guild of yourself? Well, as you can see, I'm the only person in here. But we look at our upgrades, it's a little bit different. You know, I don't have any active upgrades for my character. I've got a few banners, but the main thing is to do with the architecture, which is the bank for your guild. And the bank is one of the main reasons why people create a guild just for themselves. So let's have a look. This is my own personal bank that I have, which, you know, all items that can be traded are stored here. So as you can see, we've got so many thick leather squares. I have so many that I just keep them just in case. We've got all the Scarlet Slaying Armies, you know, consumables that we can have if needed. A lot of sigils that are just mainly for attacking or for extra damage against particular races or particular enemies. And then we have other sigils that aren't really worth too much money. And the same in the runes as well. We've got plenty of runes here. Just in case, you know, if I ever need a stack, I can quickly go in here if I need Rune of the Granth. But these are all very, you know, they're not worth too much. We've then got some event stuff. So most of this have come from Winter's Day. Stuff that I didn't bother to sell, but I might get rid of a little bit later. We've got some, we've got an infusion there, I must remember that. I'll take that out because I do have a +6 on my other person now. But again, these are the minis from the super, or the ability to combine in the super adventure box. Got some recipes again from Winter's Day, and we've got a lot of consumables here. A stack of Ectos, but I'm not going to sell them at the moment because of the price is so low. compared in the previous history. Again, a lot of snowflakes again from Winter's Day festivals. And what I've kept a lot of these is because if I ever do need to level up, if for example I would become a chef and then suddenly, there we go, chef and jeweler, I've got the recipes here. I can craft, if I want to raise someone quickly through crafting, I'll be using a lot of these items. You can put gold or more gold, silver if you're unsure. If you want to put some just for a rainy day, you can transfer that over. But again, if you look, they must be items that aren't account bound. So for example, this endless toy tonic won't go in there because it doesn't accept account bound items, which is a little bit of a shame, but it's obviously understandable. You have a bank for your own items, and I've got some here things to make Mordry, which I'll probably get rid of. But for now, everything else is account bound. I can't really put anything else into my guild bank, even which is so annoying. All this Dragonite ore is account bound, and you can't put that in there. But that's a benefit for having a guild just for yourself. It did take a little bit of time to build up that bank, because you do need to have some influence to unlock some of your upgrades. You can buy scrolls, and you get some from completing the personal story. But if you want to go, and you can go to this guild promoter here, and you could buy get 10,000 influence by 20 gold. I would not recommend that, because if you're desperate and you don't have any other choice, I would go for that. I did use laurels, because the laurel vendor actually sells influence scrolls as well. So that's a little bit about having a guild for yourself. I'm going to re-represent my guild, because as I said, 99% guild representation is required. And if you ever, you can always check to see if something's going on, and we usually do have something. We've got a few people that are away at the moment, so some of our regular people that tend to be more vocal. If people are doing stuff in game, as you can see here, it's very handy. If you are starting out new, there are always guilds advertising, as you can see here. Just go into Lion's Arch and say, look, I'd like to join a guild. If you've got a request, if you want to see how many active players you've got, you can look at the last online. So we've got 37 people online, but then the majority have been online within the last 24 hours. Within the last 24 hours, almost half of the people, so that's 140 odd, have been online within the past 24 hours, and that's that's a sign of an active guild, and that's what you want to look for, really. You want to look for those that if you want it. I would also add this. I would say it depends. If you like to start off a guild and be a very, if you want to be a smaller guild, if you want to be close to a few people, that's absolutely fine as well. There's nothing wrong with that. As someone who looks for a lot of people that can help me out, and so we have PvP, PvE, and World versus World people. If ever I'm doing one of those in one of those areas, we'll party up and we'll do an event, or we'll do a PvP match, or we'll go around and roam World versus World together. And I just think being the guilds are, hopefully with the guild halls, when they come in with part of the expansion, it'll make guilds a lot more significant in the game. It'll give a lot more loyalty, because one of the things I've found compared to Guild Wars 1, with Guild Wars 1, you obviously, I think people had a lot more loyalty to their guild if they were very active. Here, with the bonuses, of the flat upgrades for Magic Find, it's worthwhile being in a big guild that has a lot of people, because you're all working towards goals, and you're obviously helping each other out. So there are guilds out there that are very popular and always recruiting. Look for those. If you're new to the game, they're always willing to help you out, and for those that are more experienced, remember the upgrades that you can get from them. Guilds are definitely worth being part of. And yeah, if anybody else has any suggestions, whether I missed any topics here that any new people, me missing out on, by all means leave it in the comment section. Thank you for watching my video, and I'll catch you on the next one.